Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing Season 29, Round 11, and we've got a sprint week at a very drizzly Interlagos, and it was a big thing in chat of all the practice that was occurring. It's been dry, drier than my nan, and now we've got some drips. Wet qualifying, and as I said, it's a short, it's a sprint week, and which mean not like Alex's bird. My bird is dry because she's non-existent. My bird is my hand, and it looks like someone's ready up for qualifying. With it being a sprint format, we will be kicking off with one-shot qualifying, followed by the sprint race. One-shot qualifying for the race, and then the actual race itself. 50%. Distance as always, and sticky. Exactly, my hand is always sticky. And what we will do is wait for somebody to jump on. We're on with Adamako as he goes around the centre. This is turns 1 and 2, round turn 3 of the Curve de Sol, a large round shaped left-hander. Open up that DRS down the rear of Peter Imposter, where we see 1 or 2 overtakes occurring as we fling the car into turn 4 and 5. The Interlagos slight downhill, braking, drop down at turn 5 and then start slightly climbing the hill again behind the pit boxes as we fling round turn 6 and 7 of Ferradorna. Oh, the horseshoe. Very tricky. Little orange right-hander of turn 8, slowest part of the circuit. And then good rotation and a big exit out of this corner. A very fun roller coaster middle section. Around turn 10 of Pico de Pato, the duck bill, a hairpin like right-hander. As we near the end of sector 2. And the most important corner on the track, turn 12 of junction. Open up that throttle. If you don't get a good exit, you're under threat from the car behind us. They will have DRS as we climb back uphill to end the lap. Hug the inside as much as possible. Currently he's running P6, but Gary Heineken takes pole, 16.8. Very good qualifying from the reserve driver, filling in for Luckiest this week. And after following a semi-decent performance last week in Baku, gets himself on the top step for the start of the sprint race. Callum joins him on the front row, just missing out on that pole by a 10th. Ted Head, pole for the Elite Championship. Running P3 ahead of Amadi and Sam of the Scots in situ. Adamako running P6, who we watched Wainwright 7. Portuguese P8, that's slow for him. And Theo 9th. Dan Morris ran off the top 10. Brutus and Marcy, Dutchman side by side on row 6 with AJ and Jax 13th and 14th. Michael 15th and Glenn, who did not settle up, the only one to invalidate his lap. So hopefully 1 or 2 no readying up this time. And slightly overcast, which means there might be a little bit of rain occurring. Well, it does look quite damp, that track. Maybe following on from the qualifying. But it's in Brighton 1-0. I will keep you updated on the Premier League scores for those that are interested. Yeah, it's a very tricky track, this one. Medium high downforce. Only 12 laps for the sprint. I've heard 1 or 2 talks about you could do it on softs, but we'll see. If it was me, I'd just go mediums, be safe, know that I've got the tyres till the end. Ted Head did get P3, like Terry said. Solid performance from the elite driver, and tends to find certain tracks he absolutely nails it. We were having a look earlier today on what outcomes, if any, championships are up for. Oh, for Christ's sake. I'm 50% with it today. I went out to the Manchester markets last night, and you can basically call me a hemorrhoid because I'm hanging out my arse. I've got some red to keep me topped up and some coffee to keep me going. Arsenal 1-0. That should be an easy enough win. Benedict says there's no rain, just overcast. He's got an inside scoop. He's been speaking to Ted in the pit lanes. And I think that's Ted Head. Those in the who's watching on will have some Div 2 drives, I'm sure. Getting some tips ready for their race. Ted Head says he's a wet merchant, so doesn't need to worry. Rel says that Ted Head will bottle it turn 1. We'll see, it's very tricky, and especially on full lap mode, breaking into turn 1. It's always known that that you want to try and brake as late as possible and turn in late. But Callum's hot lap says just let your car rotate around the corner in third, nice and smooth. Just like my behind guy. Just like my behind guy. So Gary on pole for the first time in his stint in Lights Out League racing. It'll be interesting to see what he can do from pole. Callum's jumped past him. What's your rush, Callum? See, the track's still slightly damp, which will affect tyre temperatures. Ted Head in P3. Amadi alongside him. He'll be looking to try and jump the elite driver and try and stick with Callum. Both championship rivals. Amadi is still in for a shout, although Callum is odds-on favourite now. Samad just behind his compatriot in P5, Finn Williams, deputising for Sedders. Adamako P6, kind of where he's found himself throughout the season. P6, I think he'll be eyeing himself a potential podium. Wainwright running P7. Had a great race at Baku, a great start. We're caught in an incident, and it's, I say, mediums. Let's have a look who's on tyres. So we've got 4 drivers going on hards. Ted Head D, Adamako in Portuguese. So actually thinking mediums might not even go to the end. Interesting. Got Portuguese running P8. He'll be looking to run himself through the order with Theo in P9. And Dan Morris round off the top 10. Only top 10 get points. The sprint. Hasses side by side. Marcy on debut. And then for Cats with AJ, Jax, Michael and Clen all just jumping into their box. It's a climb uphill at the start of the race. So it's quite slow gains. We'll see who's going to come on top with 12 lap sprint. 5 lights are up. And they're out. They're out of there. It's lights out, everybody. And it's a good start from both Gary and Callum. Amadi, as suspected, gets the inside tracker ahead of Ted Head, who's Samad's got past him as well. Wainwright making good gains on the inside of Adamako. And he loses out to Portuguese as well. And all jostling down the repeater Aposta. You can see the Mercedes of Theo behind, just trying to find some sort of space to work his way through. And gets past Adamako. Brilliant move on the inside of both Portuguese and Adamako from the Mercedes driver. Adamako losing out 3 spaces. Those hard tyres just not quite getting switched on yet. As Dan Morris, good to see him back. Ooh, Brutus just having to evade from the Aston Martin. And Aston Martin driver just ghosting a bit, so just going off track. Has the Haas inside him. The other Haas on Davey down to P12. Dan Morris just jostling for that position. Jax Daniels. Whoa, we've lost the Haas. Marcy losing it on junction. Not the start he'd wanted, but it's not all lost. Gary Canton retains pole after lap 1. P1 after lap 1. Samad now getting ahead of Ted Head. What do you call a man with a bird on his head? Cliff. Portuguese using DRS down to turn 5. Getting ahead. Up to head is Michael and AJ exchanging places as well. An overtake from the Sauber driver, P14. Rouse is reveling in Ted Head's bottle. He's like a Coke bottle with Mentos in him. He's exploded. He's still in P7. And still P1 in the elite. So it's not all bad. Got to remember there's a couple of championships going on within this race. Those I haven't seen for Lights Out League Racing, we have 2 divisions. Div 2 following this one with the same format at around 9 PM UK. But within this race we have 2 divisions. Callum getting up to P1, lead of the race now ahead of Gary Hunter with DRS, and a great battle here between Wainwright and Amadi, and Wainwright getting past Amadi, forces his way through and up to P3 and a podium position. Summer taking a look at his Scottish mate. That stays in P5 as we see Michael and Glenn now. Michael at turn 5, just getting his nose ahead of Glenn. And now up to P13, so good advances from the Sauber. We've got Huffy as well, who's joined. He should be joining on the next quali. We'll have to watch for now. Must be a great debut for him. So as mentioned, there's 2 championships within, which Callum leads the way in the platinum. And there's a championship battle between Jackson, Big Racky. Racky not here with us this week. So Jack's looking to make some big gains, but Gary closing in on Callum. These 2 have broken away from Wainwright. Still within DRS. Oh, as Wainwright just loses back end coming round turn 2, which will put him under threat from Amadi with DRS. Thankfully for the Alpine driver, he had DRS as well, just to maintain that distance ahead of him. As we've got a couple of overtakes of Brutus ahead of Adam Acko, and Daniel's getting past Dan Morris. Very good track for overtaking, as long as you stay within that DRS. Just trying to stay with the elite driver ahead of him. Still got that train away from Callum. Which makes a good, exciting race. We're a quarter way through the sprint already. And we thankfully don't see any safety car, which you don't like to. You do like to see it, and you don't like to see it sometimes. Oh, speaking of, we've lost Dan Morris, and there's a yellow flag at turn 12. We've also lost Marcy, who's retired from the race. It's just a yellow flag. I hope he hasn't retired on track, or has it hit the wall? Well, that's the Haas driver now at the sprint, and it is just a yellow flag for now. Dan Morris all the way down to 15th. Missed a couple of weeks, but back with us, thankfully. And carries on going. Whoa, we've just seen Portuguese go absolutely flying off track, and he's facing the other way, trying to make an overtake on Samad. And we just saw his car go absolutely flying. And Portuguese just, I hope he doesn't retire on track as well. We do not like to see that. Retire in the pits, please, because there's a high chance of a safety car being started. The Ferrari driver is out. Callum still leads the way as we come to the start of lap 6. Gary looking at, oh, he looks like he's going to try and make a move on the inside. Callum locking up on the defence. Amadi trying to make moves on Wainwright, but we have seen Brutus take an opportunity on the carb of Adam Acko. Adam Acko looking to make an idiot, making him. Oh, I made myself cough. I'm joking. I'm too excited. Adam Acko trying to retake the position on the outside of turn 4 and makes good strides. And brilliant racing from these pair, and sure they're going to have quite a good jostle to the end of the race. Jax Manuels and Michael just waiting for their opportunity. Both with many podiums for themselves this season and had a good run in the Elite Championship. Looking to get extra points, extra valuable points towards the championship. Big Michael. We got a Big John, but we don't have a Big Michael. It's a throwback to Big Michael when I first joined this league. My teammate was Maxi Sign Big Michael. It's good to see him again. I wonder how he's doing. Adamako getting past his teammate. Playing the team game as Adamako goes wide. Oh, Ted Head just closing the door on Brutus. And Brutus is forced wide, which Jax Daniels goes through. I think Adamako going deep on turn 1. Confused everybody. Jax Daniels taking a quick look at Ted Head. Is bunched behind Adam. Oh, just Jax Daniels. Brutus trying to work his way past the elite driver. But Jax Daniels just holding up the Haas. There's nowhere for him to go. Jax Daniels trying to stick with Ted Head. This is a battle for P1 in the sprint for the elite. At the moment it's still all to play for near the front. Theo up to P6. After a decent start. After probably not the qualifying that he wanted. But this is a train for the race win. Amadi taking a quick look at Wainwright, but not close enough to make the move yet. Brilliant show here from both Gary Wainwright, who joined for the first time last week in Baku. I'm putting up a brilliant performance. Amadi taking a quick look at to see the Largo. I'm not quite able to do it. Marcy's left the session. I don't think Marcy's realised that it's a sprint. Oh, and they've also left the server. Don't want them in this server anyway if they're just going to come in and go meh and cry. What are you crying for? Callum controlling this sprint. Potentially Gary's trying to bide his time, but he's just fell out of that DRS range. A little loss of traction from his teammate for this week. And this will put him under threat. Will the cars behind him both have DRS? He's going to be under threat down to turn 1. The Alpine goes through. Amadi trying to follow through as well. And Gary ends up losing 2 positions. Trying to fight back Amadi, but Amadi will take that P3 spot. How will these medium tyres fare towards the end of the race? I like to think they're probably the best tyres. Clen gets himself track limits penalty alongside AJ. But with the Wainwright losing out on turn 12, has opened up the door for Callum to have a bit of breathing space. And the McLaren driver just extending his form to this sprint. Dan Morris just getting some practice laps in for the race following this. Same for the likes of AJ and Clen. AJ just closing in on the Ferrari. We'll get some points towards their championships. As we jump back on this battle for P7. It's still as you were. No one's been able to make any moves. As Amadi has made a move. Oh, little drift for the Alpine. Oh, Wainwright. And that sees his teammate Gary go through. And Theo, he's managed to get past Samad. Should get a good opportunity. Going down the Rita Aposta in the slipstream of the Alpine. Has a look on the outside of turn 4. But well defended from the Alpine driver. Just seems to be struggling on these medium tyres now. You can see Theo's a lot quicker. We saw that last week with him behind Portuguese. He just needs to bide his time and make the correct overtake. Mercedes driver number 1 in P5. A good show for him. Amadi has fallen on, has dropped Gary as well. I'll afford him some breathing space. Oh, Dan Morris, corner cutting. I think he's potentially gone off track. Tried to cut it. We have our own groundsman, Dan Morris. Don't need you to cut the grass for us. As Theo thought about it, but likes to keep his wing as Dan has gone off track again. Struggling with tyres now. And might got himself back onto the track. Needs to clean his tyres off. It's only we're on the penultimate lap of this sprint, not long to go. Gary's now the lead car for this battle now for P3, as we think P1 and P2 are settled. D closing in, but I think the sprint will come to the end too quick for him as Dan Morris retires into the pits for the sprint. Could have gone on for another lap maybe, but you know what to say. Adamak is still pushing hard, trying to defend from his teammate and the chasing pack behind. On turn 12. On lap 11. Final lap has started. And Callum takes us round. Little wiggle from Adamako. His teammate doesn't try and make him any moves. As best just try and defend from the likes of Jack Daniels. Dan reckons it'll be a long race. And I shouldn't be surprised if he doesn't finish. As head gets past his teammate, Jax Daniels. Late lunge by Jax. Oh, that was opportunist, but I don't think he should have done that. And it's cost him a couple of positions. Did he make some contact with Adam? I reckon so. Tried to follow Ted Head through. And I think potentially Jax might be in trouble for that. It looked rash from the McLaren. Especially with his battle with Ted Head for the P1. Potentially cost Adam a couple of positions. But we'll jump on Callum as he climbs back uphill to the start-finish line and takes a sprint win. Brilliant drive from the McLaren, followed by Ahmed D. It wasn't easy for him. Wainwright takes the P3, followed by Gary Hampton, Samad, Theo. Ted Head crosses the line, P7 and P1 for the... Samad takes Theo at the line. Takes P1 in the elite. Brutus, P8, 9th for Adamako. P10 for Michael. Jack Jones comes home, 11, Clem. Oh, and there's a bit of a squeeze by Theo, but Samad took the position nonetheless. And this is your sprint. Callum takes the win with Ahmadi and Wainwright joining him on the podium. Brilliant race from the Alpines, who takes 3rd, 3rd and 4th. Samad P5, Theo P6, Ted Head 7th, who takes P1 in the elite. Brutus P8 and Adamaka P9, and Michael rounding off the top 10. Jax 11th, Clem 12th, AJ 13th, and Dan, Portuguese, and Marcy all retiring from the race. And I don't think we'll see Marcy later on. As he has left Brighton 2-0 against Villa. Good. I took Watkins out. Villa's just so inconsistent. It's unreal. I'll tell you what's unreal. We go again! As now we go for one-shot quali for the race at Interlagos. And drivers will be sorting out their strategies first time. Slightly different. Tweaking the setup. Sorting out potential fuel, you'll go. Brutus says he hates this track. I would have thought it'd be one of these tracks that a lot of drivers like. It's a brilliant racing track. It's just quite risky. 68% full throttle, and so a couple of brilliant opportunities to make overtakes. We just got to do them at the best moments. unlike what we saw from Mr. Jax Daniels. It's a bumpy track, makes braking quite tricky, so it tests the driver's skills, the driver's nerve. So let's jump on Mr. Portuguese Beast then. As he comes round Curve de Sol, currently running in P1 down the Rita Aposta as he approached turn 4. Downhill braking, a lot of drivers go wide and ride that curb, but these curbs can be lethal. Climb uphill round to turn 6 and 7, where we saw Portuguese go off in the sprint. Hard braking as he approached turn 8. Slow right-hander. Tom Huffy's retired from the session, so essentially crashed out around turn 11. Again, can be quite tricky going downhill here on really worn tyres. Turn 12, we saw 1 or 2 drivers spin. Fastest middle sector for the Ferrari drivers. Climbs back uphill, hugging the inside. DRS is open. You want to stay as left as possible to minimise the distance of the track. And it looks like he's got pole following on from last week. And it's very, very close here for how quick that ended. 1 or 2 drivers disqualifying from invalidating. But Portuguese, following from his pole last week at Baku, takes it this week at 107.2. Nearly 3 tenths ahead of Callum. He gets P2 again. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride for the McLaren. Theo taking P3. That's better from the Swedish driver. Wainwright taking 4. Brilliant qualifying again from our reserve. Amity 5th with Gary Hannington P6 just behind his teammate. Michael 7th and takes pole for the elite. Jax Daniels P8 just behind him. Samad 9th and Cled rounding off the top 10. Brutus P11. Dan Morris along him on row 6 with Ted Head P13. Marcy, Tom, AJ, Adam all retiring or disqualifying. Callum saying it's the slowest one shot he's done all day. It's looking a bit overcast again, like it did in the sprint. Adam saying he got dog walked by a dive bomb from hell. We saw it, Adam. Someone's going to get slapped by a fish. I'll take a quick slurp of my neck lube. Try and help with my shakes and shivers. I'm like a pirate. Arr, shiver me timbers. God, my throat is killing me. Benedict says no rain. This guy knows things. He knows the way. Let's see if he knows how to get himself at the top in the Div 2 race following this at 9 PM. As drivers now will be sorting out their strategies, their fuel loads. Let us know in the chat who you reckon is going to be on the podium. I think as the season's closing and coming to an end, we've got 2 more races after this, but I think Callum is closing in on his first Lights Out League Racing title. I think Portuguese is going to get P2, and I go for Theo to get P3. That's my prediction. I'm not always right, but I'm not always left either. The weather can be quite temperamental here. We're just based outside of Sao Paulo. It's now known for having rapid changes and unpredictable weather, known as Land of the Drizzle, which we did see in Sprint Quali. Drivers jump onto the grid, and Portuguese will lead us round. Let's have a look at everybody's strategies. Interesting then. So we've got a couple of drivers going on the alternate. Jax Daniels and Tom Huffy. Tom Huffy on debut in the Red Bull, filling in for Chief of Fire. But everyone else going on the mediums. One stop, I think, is potentially possible. Will we see on the other strategies in play? We saw a few last week at Baku, but it is a different circuit. This circuit is 4.3 kilometres. 15 corners, 10 to left, from 5 to the right, with 2 DRS zones, one after the Curve de Sol on the reach of Foster, and then one up the back straight. Most important one to the line. There's an 86% chance of a safety car and 43% chance of a VSC. Some of those walls are quite tight, so if you end up going flying, like you saw Portuguese in the sprint, it can bring the safety car out. Portuguese leads up this very quick lap. Centre backs watching, giving everyone a good look. As Portuguese jumps in his box, Callum joins him on the front row with Theo and Wainwright just behind. Amadi P5, Gary Hanton P6, a little bit lower from their sprint quality. Michael P7, he'll be chuffed with his podium. Jax P8, Samad 9th, and Glenn Ranulph top 10. As we've still got one or two drivers just closing in. Damaris P12 with Tedder 13th, Marcy 14th, Huffy, AJ and Adam will be looking to make some big strides from P17. It's a 200 metre run down from pole to turn 1 braking point. It's not long to go, so Portuguese should be able to defend it if he gets a good launch off the line. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do that samba. It's in Brazil and it's a light on way we go. It's a good start from the Portuguese driver. Gets well ahead of Callum. Theo trying to defend from the Alpine. The Alpine on the inside, but has to let the Mercedes go. And Amadi trying to sneak through as the Alpine driver's gone offline. But it looks like everyone's made it round safe and sound. Brilliant driving. And it's a good show as Brutus gained 2 positions already up to P9. I'm trying to make early work of Samad. Jax is their biggest loser so far. As Gary Hangington. I keep saying Harrington, but I've got stranger things on my mind. Daniel Morris having a look at the inside of Jax Daniels at turn 8. There's the slot behind Pinheiro. There's Marcy, who's obviously disconnected, so lost the position. Adamako past AJ. I don't think AJ is battling too much. As Adamako already getting past the hard tyres of Tom Huffy, and I think with Jackson, Tom Huffy going on a longer first stint, but it takes a while for their tyres to get up to temperature, and hence why Jax has lose plenty of positions. DRS is now active on lap 2, and the front 3 already broken away. Amadi getting past Michael. Amadi losing out to the elite driver, but managed to retake the position. Red Bull now looking to hunt down Podium Samad as well, getting past the elite driver. Michael not defending, knows it's not his battle at the moment, and we're just following them round. Adam Mako and Dan Morris exchanging positions as we see Wainwright and Theo. Great overtake from the Alpine. You don't see many going up to turn 6, and I'm sure a brave move. Theo just keeping his nose out. Albertson said it's medium to hard, one stopper, and that's if you nurse your tyres. It'll be interesting to see the strategy to the hard to mediums. And of course, if a safety car does come out, it's all to play for. 2-1 Brighton against Villa. Villa getting goal back, and Nottingham Forest 1-0 up against Wolves, who are going to go down. Callum now taking the lead of the race. These front 2 pulled away from P3 and will have their own battle, I'm sure, as the race unfolds. Theo retaking P3 as Michael and Gary side by side through the centre S, and Gary P7. Brilliant driving from those pair. Great wheel to wheel racing as that AJ and Tom Huffy. Huffy's in the grass at turn 3. Let's get his car going again. But has a damaged wing, he's lost an end plate, which make it a little bit difficult. especially around sector 2. But long way to go. Lap 3:36. Anything can happen, anything can change. There's these pair on their own league. Scottish driver Amadi just caught in this train at the moment. He'd like to break free from this and try and catch the front pack. As we've AJ coming down turn 11. Has had a moment, and Carrier Hannington back up to P6 ahead of Samad. Looks like Samad's disconnected. I'll try and invite him back in. Where are you? Is he in? He's not in by the looks of it. I might have disconnected. Bear with me, peeps. Invite him back in. Everyone's giving Ted Head grief about his pace. We're in P9 now. That's P2 in the Elite Championship. Sticking with the train here for P3. Aaron still leads the way. With jump on with the Mercedes of Theo. DRS is open, but it's a good defence here from Wainwright. Jack Daniels, the latest one to get past Samad. It's a shame for the Williams driver who's disconnected. Jack's really overtake. Better overtake on Clen there than it was on Adam in the previous sprint. Clen looking to retake the position from Jax. Will try and defend. Side by side here. Wainwright trying to defend from Theo. Coming around turn 5. Managed to just hold off the charge of the Mercedes. Almost outbrakes himself and hitting the back of the Alpine. Keeps good control. Hamidi just staying behind for now. Tevhead at the back. He's got some fans in the chat. Oak Forest's goal is disallowed. Better. Okay. Sorry, I had a message. Portuguese just following Callum for now. Now Theo on the outside of turn 1. The Alpine will try and defend it as much as possible, but they're side by side going through Curve of the Soul, and that's a brilliant defence from Wainwright. Keeps his car just ahead, but Theo will try and fight back, but doesn't have the DRS. Will have to jump in his slipstream. That was a brilliant defence from the Alpine. Well, Theo goes deep round turn 4 though. Gets himself back on track, but has to slot behind Amadi and Gary Hannington. I'll just call him Gaza. So retake position as Samad's back in his car, thankfully, and jumps back ahead of Clen. Clen's lost out in a couple of positions as Jax is the leader of this train. These two back on track again. Adam will want a bit of justice following the sprint. Try and make the move on Jax Daniels as we come round turn 10. Just over 2 seconds. Ted Head's had a moment somewhere. He's had bad traction coming out of turn 12 and has fell out of DRS. Brutus has got a fan club cheering him on. As Adam does make a move on the inside of turn 1, Jax tries to defend it, gets clattered in the back by Samad. He didn't expect Jax to be so slow. I think he slightly outbraked himself in the McLaren. Link's worst nightmares notice that Portuguese has retaken the lead, and what has happened is D's gone off on turn 4 and has lost a couple of positions, is now down to P8. The back of this train, and Brutus and Michael both going through. Dutchman's flying. And good race here from Michael, leading the way in the Elite and P6. Wainwright still holding off Theo. Put a brilliant defence up a couple of laps ago. Whoa, as we saw Theo gets himself on the curb, ends up on the grass and dropping now behind the Scotsman of Armadie. Just to get his head back in the game. It's not over till the fat lady sings. Crystal Palace 1-0 up against Burnley. As long as he stays within DRS, he's still in with a game. As Armadie on the inside of Brutus. Brutus has to give up that position. Adamako first one in the pits then. Let's just double check if it is for damage or if it's just a strategy call. So it is strategy. Onto the hards. Adamako, after 7 laps, straight in the pits. Interesting call from the Visa Carb. Is it a 2-stopper? Must be a 2-stopper. Because there's no way he's going to do 28 laps on the hards. I'm sticking with Portuguese like jizz on a sock. Just can't get it off. He's right now 5 seconds behind the front two. It's the Alpine's just breaking free. Link says it's too early for pits. I think it is, but it depends on your strategy, I think. And is the tyre wear really, really bad? Is it, where's it spent? Especially now the sun's come out, which means the track temperature will heat up and the degradation will be higher. Andy and Michael exchange position, and Theo's in the pits now. Kingler says the 1-stop is possible. Is that a damage for Theo? Is he just getting himself some fresh tyres? So yeah, Theo doing a potential 2-stopper as well. Interesting. Dutch drivers exchange positions, down to turn 4. Brutus now up to P6. Leaders have swapped again. Link's worst nightmare is all over it. We got a yellow flag. And it's a Mercedes of Theo. He's spinning round like a teacup ride. Just hasn't got his hard tyres up to temperature as he comes out the pits. There's Tom Huffy. Sees the Mercedes ahead in the horizon. Closing in. Theo just needs to get his head sorted. Still in with the race. We're hoping for a safety car now. Tom Huffy goes through. Up to full speed here. There's Wainwright in the pits now. So I know Benedict. Oh, Theo. We want to see Theo get some good points on the board. Dan Morris in the pits as well with Wainwright, both just doing some early pit stops. So this is some 2-stopper strategies as Theo is in the wall again. Not have a good race in Mercedes. Is his car broke? Still got his wing though, which is good. Wainwright making a move on Marcy. Marcy's ghost. It's Marcy and Marcy. Woo! It's Marcy and Marcy. I think Theo's retiring. He is. Just couldn't get his head back in the game, and he's out of there. Portuguese closing in, but it's not close enough to make a move as yet. And we do thank Theo for retiring in the pit lane. Do appreciate that. His wheel disconnected. It did seem like that. Oh, sorry to hear, mate. It's always the way. It's Harrington. I'm calling you Harrington. I can't get my words right. Alpine in. Get some fresh tyres on. Definitely doing a 2-stopper then because he's put some more mediums on. Yeah, it's unfortunate, my friend. He does a brilliant qualifying. As we see Samad with the carb of Ted Head, who just closes the door on the Williams. Bloody technology, eh? Yeah, he had some mega quali pace. You know, you got to think the only person that was ahead of you was Portuguese and Callum, and look at these pair, they're rapid, so you're definitely up there, my friend. Samad trying to take his opportunity on the elite drivers ahead. I've the likes of Jack Daniels, who's managed to pass. Well, there's 2 races, mate. We've got 2. We've got I can't remember where we are next week. I can look. I'll look. Oh, it's like it's going to bug me, but I should know. I should know. We've got Spa and then Australia. Lap 12 medium window opening apparently. We've got Jeff. Leeds 1-0 against Chelsea. That's funny. Dirty Leeds. Michael not close enough to make a move on Brutus. Armady has managed to break free, as I mentioned. And now running P3. Theo's passing on his good luck. As we've got another yellow flag. It's the McLaren of Jack Daniels. There's some of them doing, the front runners haven't stopped yet. There's quite a few that are doing a 2-stop. There's still some doing a 1-stop. These front 9, AJ and Marcy all yet to stop. Daniels has fell from Michael. I know it's Brutus. It's Brutus. I apologise to Jax. Brutus has a moment and has found himself behind Jax. Brutus says he doesn't like this track. Oh well, that's a shame. Italian hand gesture for AJ, and he's retired. Probably just not enjoying it today. Thank you again for retiring in the pits. 2-2 Brighton Villa. As we jump on the Williams, overtaking Ted Head. Turn 6 as well. Ted Head caught napping. Pits for Clen and Huffy. Clen going potentially for the 1-stop. Ted Head now running P3 in the elite. As we see the front 2 and Callum's in. Trying to do an undercut on Portuguese, he's carried on through. It's a yellow flag for AJ's car. And Callum, he doesn't want to come out behind traffic. At the moment, he's going to come out behind Ted Head as Wainwright's coming around the centre S. And Wainwright gets himself a track limits, trying to push, but Callum is out just ahead. So McLaren stays ahead of both the Alpines after the first lot of pit stops. The Alpines, I think, will be doing the 2-stopper. Callum will try and go to the end. The drivers here, keeping each other honest. Ahead of Brutus and Samad and Ted Head. I wonder what everyone's tyre wear would look like. Some are pushing more than others. As Portuguese is now in, trying to minimise the undercut. What will Amadi do? Amadi carries on then. So Amadi keeping must have good time management as he takes the lead of the race. Jax Daniels carries on as well, with Michael choosing to pit at the same time as Portuguese. Everyone else still going through, so Callum coming around the centre S will come out just ahead of Portuguese. Is he out of DRS range though? Comes out ahead of the Alpines, which is exactly what he needed. He's within DRS. That's Dan Morris. Comes out ahead of Michael then and has done the undercut, pitting a few laps earlier. That's the Martin driver, P11. So Jax Daniels still leading the way here. As we got a yellow flag. Oh, Huffy. Huffy's out and the safety car's out. Oh my God. It's thrown into turmoil, and this has absolutely played into Ahmadi's hands. The likes of Jax Brutus, Samad and Ted Head should all pretty much take advantage. Oh, Dan Morris, no. Amateur mistake from Dan. Drive through for speed under the safety car. All the ones that haven't pit yet. Callum's going through, Portuguese going through, which should come out potentially ahead of Ahmadi. All those doing on the two-stop as well going in. This is played into Ahmadi's hands then. Slightly fresher tyres for the Red Bull driver, but will come out slot behind. Link's worst nightmare. He's also our stat man. We've had 6 lead changes in this race. Ahmadi, yes. Well, then now up to P3. And you'd like to say he'd probably stick with these front two. Brutus, P4. He'll be chuffed with that with Samad 5. Ted Head now back into the P1 position in the elite. Looking to shut up his critics in the chat. Jack Stanish has found himself ahead of Michael, who's always down in P13 now. It's crazy what a pit stop and safety car can do. Mercedes, the safety car, leads us round. We'll be doing at least another lap, and I'll take a bit of neck lube while they do. Unfortunately, one of my predictions for the podium is out of the race. So the front two, as they were. There's going to be an interesting safety car restart. With it being a long straight, it's going to be a late call. I'm pretty sure from Callum when to go. You know how alert Portuguese can be on the restart, but it's very tight. First 3 corners, it's not as bad as Baku last week. That was those that watched. We've still got more drivers in this race currently than we did at Baku last week. Only ended up with half the grid. I don't think it's going to come in yet. I reckon it's going to do another lap. Oh yeah, it's in. It's in. It's caught me off guard. So safety car is coming in. Can't overtake and race until the safety car is in the pits. And you can't do it overtake until you get to the timing line. And as mentioned, Callum will lead us uphill and go as late as possible, otherwise he'll be under threat from the cars behind. Everyone was really fresh tyres on. Going as late as possible. And he's gone right on the line. This grid's all bunched up. There's Ahmadi having a look on the inside of Portuguese. Left plenty of space but won't have the exit. And Brutus trying to make a move. Has to take the outside line on turn 3. Down the reach of Posta. DRS isn't active until the next lap after the safety car. You can see further behind, Jack's just taking a quick look at Ted Head. Now isn't the time to make a move as Gary Hannington does make the move up to P9 ahead of Glenn, who just went slightly wide. Adamaka going through as well, so Glenn just not holding up the faster drivers. Probably needs to be a bit more ruthless, the Ferrari. Trusting his own defensive skills. Seem like they're very easy moves for those that got past him. Absolutely flying off this first A safety car restart. Already a second ahead. Portuguese will need to close that gap within DRS range, which he's just within. Otherwise, he's going to be under threat. And we know Portuguese actually just get himself settled and then pull himself within touching distance, which he has done. Well, he won't be close enough to make a move as yet. He will have a better line coming out of turn 3. It's all quite congested at the moment, single file. They're like fucking lemons. As Jax is close to Ted Head on the outside of turn 6. Jax has to let him go. It's a very, very tricky corner to go side by side through. Jax is looking very racy on those medium tyres. We may struggle to get him to the end though. Same with Dan and Marcy. You can see how much more grip these medium tyres have got. So mad. Had poor traction going through that middle sector. Hasn't managed to stick with that front 4 as Jax does make that move on Ted Head, who loses out to Gary Hannington as well. I'm sure he won't hold his teammate up too much as Wainwright and Samad exchange positions going through the centre S. Brilliant driving from Wainwright again. Adam behind his teammate. Will Ted Head play the team game as Hannington goes through at the foreground? Martha behind going past the Ferrari of Clen, who's just fell back the order. Dan Morris in the pits now coming out. Having to serve his drive-through. It's unlucky for the Aston Martin driver. These front 4 have pulled away now. For all the negative comments from Brutus about this track, he's found himself in position for a chance for at least a podium and a race win, depending on what goes on ahead of him. Climb back up the hill to start lap 21. No one's close enough to make that move as yet. So we jump behind. Hannington is flying. Gary! And there's Brutus getting that penalty. Clen in the pits. He's got a damaged wing. He does. That probably explains why he's losing some positions. And that will promote Dan Morris up to P13. Callum still leading the way around. That front 4 following, but commentator's curse. Brutus gets himself a track limits. And that will hamper his chances for that podium then, unless the driver ahead gets themselves a penalty also. Lock up from the Williams. Turn 10. Car's going to be riding like a 50 pence piece if Karen's not doing that. And let's foul back slightly from Wainwright after missing his braking spot. Portuguese closer than he has been. Is he close enough to make a move at turn 1? Thought about it. Not yet, as Callum locks up as well. It's going to be under a threat down the Rita Raposta. I think coming out of turn 3, you need to be within 3/10 to be able to make the overtake down to turn 4. Callum looking in his mirrors. He's got to nail every single corner, the McLaren. As Portuguese will take the opportunity. Armady and Brutus both there to pounce as well. Samad still struggling to stick with Wainwright. Wainwright having a better middle sector. Samad struggling through these slower corners, which may say that his setup is designed for the overtaking spots. As Wainwright's actually closing in on this battle for P1. Oh yeah, I'll beat you to it this time, Link. I'll beat you to it this time. Lock up from the Alpine though, which will cost him a couple of tenths. No, potentially is Callum doing a bit of preservation. Yeah, dingus. Adamako getting past his teammate now. Down to turn 4. Probably a couple of laps later than he had hoped. As Michael looking to follow Adam through. Inside of turn 6. Brilliant overtake from the Sauber. Now that was poor driving from Ted Head. Ooh, that was naughty from Ted Head. Michael was side by side and got turned into by the Visa Carb. That's dropped Michael down 3 seconds now. Wainwright getting himself another 3 seconds, but he is within DRS now. And has pulled Samad, Hannington and Jackson through with him. So, you know, the likes of Samad and Jax Daniels, if they take penalty 3, will gain plenty of positions. Just got to stay within that DRS range. Yeah, good recovery car from Samad. As Portuguese now takes the lead of the race down the repeater of Foster. That's a great battle here at the front. And Callum's had to defend in a lot more vigorous motion than he's had to in previous races this season. He's had some a lot easier. Wainwright has dropped Samad, who's really struggling in this middle sector. With the Alpine behind of Harrington. Jax Daniels has potentially his medium tyres wearing off. Jax will have to pit again. Currently leading the way in the Elite Championship. We'll have Adamako for company very, very soon. And we'll be finding it very hard to defend from the Platinum driver. Link said Portuguese broke DRS, but Callum's back in. As we keep an eye with Adam, should be able to make easy meet of Jax Daniels. Find each other on track again. Potentially he's going to try and make a move on the inside of turn 4. He does. Leaving each other plenty of space. Jax just goes off track. But it was inevitable that Adam would make that move. And we'll look to try and close in on Samad. Jax going deep at turn 7. Keeps it within the white lines though. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him pit in the next 3 laps or so. Terry Red's lover cannot believe he's met Terry Reds. Who is Terry? I thought it was Jax Daniels, but Jax Daniels is racing unless he can multitask. Callum has DRS, but Portuguese afford himself a small gap and breathing space. Brutus locking up, which costs him a small bit of time. And will be out of DRS range, I think. He doesn't have his flap open. Should give a little smile to Wainwright's face. Samad having a look on the inside of turn 6, but just pulls out of it last minute. Otherwise he would have lost a wing. Got 10 laps to go. There's no way Jax Daniels is getting to the end on these mediums. The same as Marcy and Morris. His front 3 have dropped Brutus. Brutus just fell out of DRS and struggled to get back in. So Wainwright will have his flap open like a letterbox. You've got mail. Guna says Jack's racing and typing at the same time. Commitment to Terry Reds. Who are you? Let's be having you. Who are you? Says Terry Reds. F1. Just not yet to make, able to make the overtake on Wainwright. Not able to make the move on Brutus. So brilliant defending from the Haas as the other Haas is in the pits to get some fresh tyres on. And he's also invisible. He's a ghost! Oh, Sam's back in his car. Poor man disconnected. As Adam capitalises. Gives himself a bit of extra. Hey, sexy. Tyrese Lover. Hey, sexy. Jax Daniels getting past Sam as well. He's disconnected for the second time this race. It's unfortunate for the Williams reserve driver. Jax has just fell out of DRS from Wainwright's managed to make the move. Just ahead of turn one, locks up as well. Brutus will try and retake the position from the Alpine. As we go down the Rita Aposta, DRS will be open. Into that slipstream. Takes a quick look, but isn't able to. Brilliant driving again from Wainwright. Had a fantastic race so far. Callum is close to Portuguese. Round the horseshoe. All three cars within a second of each other. Brilliant battle for this top three. Out of all three, Callum is the one at the disadvantage with the earlier pit stop. Will it come to crop him in the ass? To bite him in the ass as the race comes to an end. About 8 laps to go. And it seems like Portuguese just under control. As it stands, another lock up there from the McLaren. Goes deep at turn one. Almadi will try and capitalise. Jax Daniels is now pitting. As Ted gets himself a penalty. A wiggle from one of the cars. Was it an apology from Callum? So a slight lock up. Almadi just falling slightly back. I can't believe you don't remember me. Dan's in the pit as well. Jack's good on the softs. Interesting. Will we see a fastest lap from the McLaren? And Wainwright keeping one eye on Brutus. Has stayed with the Alpine. Is now his time to make an overtake? I don't think so. You have to be slightly closer. And the Haas is, as Dan goes on the softs as well. Within 6/10, but I don't think he'll get that back up. 3 seconds for Adam Mako. Could have gained him some decent positions. Unfortunately, gets himself another track limits going through the centre S. Running P7. Not a bad race when he started from the back. And with the reserve drivers, as it stands, we'll take P5 in the Platinum division. And is closing in on Gary Hannington. Try and gain that extra spot in the Div 1 rankings for this race. 6 laps to go. Portuguese. Still leading the way. Had to settle for P6 in Baku last week, but wanted to get himself back on the top step. As we jump down, and Ted Head, Michael, elite driver side by side. Come out the centre, rest around the curve of the Sol, and Ted Head, I think, has let Michael past as Jax gets the fastest lap. I think a bit of a thank you there for Michael. Not the best driver from Ted, but also good, respectful driving. It's the sort of thing of where a potential penalty could be given. If you let them past, it's more likely that a sort of steward report would lead to no further action. A good battle between the two elite drivers. This is obviously for position, depending on penalties. And for P1, so Ted, to be fair, could have kept the position and seen what would happen after the race. But this is for P1 in the elite. Especially with Jack's 10.5 seconds behind. Ooh, quick look there from Ted. Michael defends, takes a wide line round turn 1. Ted had well DRS and try and make an overtake, have a second opportunity. Michael goes on the far left to get Ted Head out of his slipstream, although it's not really effective on this game, is it really? So Michael stays ahead then, P9. Radamacho just gradually closing in on Hannington, 1.5 seconds behind. That advance has just dwindled slightly. These tyres should definitely go to the end, but I'd suspect 1 or 2 may struggle. 3 laps to go. Callum only 2/10 behind Portuguese. He'll be looking to strike. Not the best line going around turn 2. We'll have DRS. I think Portuguese will have better exit out turn 3. Looked like Callum was going to try and make this his moment, but yeah, poor line through the second of the S. Still getting close to Portuguese. Amadi with the fresher tyres. Will he look to try and pounce right to the end? We'll make this for an interesting finish, and we've lost Tom Hoffey as well. Oh my god, these new boys in and out their fucking okey dokey. Portuguese again, good breathing space to defend this DRS charge of Callum and D. Again, Callum not close enough yet, but will be close through the centre S's. Takes a better line this time. Still don't think he's close enough though. He won't be, so again, good defence from the Ferrari. Brutus has completely been dropped from Wainwright on the same strategy, but Adam has caught up to Hannington. Want to try and gain that extra position. Solid drive from the carb of Adam. Solid drive from his teammate as well. Battling for this P1 in the elite. Michael having a great defence. Jack Downs has closed in on a second and a half, but it's not enough of the race left to go. And then just some Dan Morris attempting the fastest lap, but I think it'll go to Jack Daniels. Portuguese on the penultimate laps. Callum on his gearbox. This is going to be the opportunity that McLaren driver needed. There's nothing really Portuguese can do to defend as Callum takes the lead of the race down to turn 4. There's still an opportunity for Portuguese to retake it. I can see him closing back in on Callum, going up to turn 6. Side by side through the horseshoe. And Portuguese retakes the position. Don't know if Callum got caught napping or Portuguese had a better line coming out of turns 4 and 5. But back into lead of the race for Portuguese. And Callum's lead was short-lived. Adamaco locking up his brakes at turn 8. Try and take Hannington. when he least expects it. I haven't looked at penalties, and it'll be a surprise, but I think one of these two drivers will exchange positions. I think the likes of Wainwright, which has Brutus caught up, who's going to make an overtake on the outside of turn 1. They're side by side on the final lap. There's nothing really Alpine can do and defend it, but oh, whoa, that's a brilliant defence from Wainwright. I lied. Callum not making a move yet. One more opportunity going up to the start-finish line. That's a brilliant defence from Wainwright. I thought Brutus had it, but when Brutus went wide at turn 1, and Wainwright just slipped back through again. As we'll follow the front 3. Callum on 22 lap-olds, hard tyres. Is he going to struggle with his middle? So you can see he's pushing like crazy. His back end shaking like a $2 hooker. He's struggling out of turn 12. It's going to open the door for Amadei, I'm sure. He's fell out of DRS from Portuguese. Portuguese will have the win in Interlagos. As it's a run up to the line, Callum just takes it with half a hundredth ahead of Amadei. There's your top 3. Wainwright will cross the line, P4. We get jump thrown from Brutus, who will take that 4th position. Brilliant driving from Wainwright. Some brilliant defensive moves from the Alpine. Hanning takes 6th. With Adamaco P7. Samad will come home P8 after a couple of times disconnecting. Michael and Ted had come home P9th and 10th. Michael taking P1 in the Elite Championship. Good, brilliant driving from both of them. Jack Daniels will come P11. That doing the 2-stop strategy and the fastest lap. Second Ferrari will come home P12. His teammate, of course, taking the race win. But some valuable points for the constructors and for Glenn in his Elite Championship. As Marcy in the Haas. Misfits Multi-Class Racing League. That's a mouthful. Just like my knob. There's Dan Morris. He's got a damaged wing again. Not had a great race. The Aston Martin driver will come home P14. Samad has DNF'd. As we wait for Dan to trickle over the line and come home slowly but surely. It's like slow motion, that was. As we wait for the standings to come up and see the guys on the podium in Brazil. Get yourself a Caprina, lads, you deserve it. And Portuguese gets himself another race win of the season. Great battle to the end between these 3. And mega race. Fastest lap goes to Jackson, as I said, and driver of the day given to the game goes to Adam Maka, and he'll definitely be one of my contenders after his race charge from back of the grid. As we see Portuguese taking P1, Callum P2 and Amadei P3, all within just over a second. Brutus coming home P4 from P11, another potential driver of the day, Wainwright P5, Gary Huntington P6, Adamaco P7 from 17th, great driving from him. Michael P8 and P1 in the Elite Championship for the Sauber, just ahead of Ted Head. Jack Daniels will come home P10th and P3. Glenn P11, Marcy P12 and John Morris coming home P13th, Samad 14th, Hoffy, AJ and Theo all DNFing. Brilliant race from all the Div 1 boys, and a better performance following the race at Baku. 3-2 down to Villa, come back from 2-0 down. Respect. And respect to these lots. Jump on with us. We are on again in a few minutes' time with the Div 2 boys. Probably about 9:05 PM UK, once we get everything set back up. If not, join us back next week at 7:30 UK, next Wednesday, where you can see the Div 1 lads again, this time at Spa, one of my favourite tracks personally. So thank you for joining us. My name's Alex. This is Lights Out League Racing. Peace out.